Monday on Scenes of Crime, collecting the clues.
Print on the top, which I'll take.
And gathering the evidence.
Best take it from the edge of the stain.
One way or another.
Go, go, go!
Catching the criminals on Scenes of Crime, Monday night at 10:50 on Meridian.
Good evening. A father is tonight threatening to keep his son away from school until it expels the bullies who attacked him. The 14-year-old boy claims he's been stabbed, punched and kicked, and in the last attack had his ankle broken. Youths also bombarded him with racial abuse.
The 14-year-old victim of the school bullies his father has branded as racists. The boy's now on crutches after the latest attack left him with a broken ankle. The bullying is alleged to have taken place at the Arnwood Comprehensive School in New Milton. The boy says he was attacked by 5 15-year-olds.
They caught me, they grabbed me around the neck, they punched and kicked me. They stabbed me just above my eye. They called me racist names like Blackie, Go Home, Packy and stuff like that.
After 2 other incidents of abuse and threats, the boy ran away from home. His father claims the schools failed to take proper action against the bullies.
The school have very much buried their head in the sand and trying to devalue the actual assault and make out that they do not have a problem with assaults actually at the school.
The headmaster, Mr. Hummerston, has declined to be interviewed about the allegations of bullying. He says it's not school policy to discuss individual cases. But in a written statement, the school told us the issue is being fully investigated with close liaison between the school, the police and Hampshire Local Education Authority.
So what would you want the school, the headmaster and the governors to do about this?
Remove the bullies from the school and let me return and get on with my education.
Hampshire Police say the results of their investigation are now being considered by the Crown Prosecution Service. Nigel Burwood for Meridian News.
Investigation is continuing tonight into how 2 soldiers died when the tank they were driving in overturned in Wiltshire. The 2 men were on exercise in one of the Army's new Challenger 2 tanks when it crashed on Salisbury Plain.
This is a Challenger 2 tank involved in today's accident on Salisbury Plain. 4 soldiers were on board when it overturned. 2 were killed instantly, the other 2 injured. The troops were taking part in a training exercise involving 500 personnel.
It was quite a large armoured exercise that had been running for over a day, and it was in the middle of the exercise when this incident happened.
The Challenger 2 has only been in service a short time. Only 2 weeks ago, Princess Anne test drove the tank on a visit to the King's Royal Hussars on Salisbury Plain.
It's the world's leading main battle tank. It's the first time it's had an accident. In fact, it's the first time in about a decade there have been any accidents on Salisbury Plain, so I think it's quite remarkable. It's important for the British Army to train as robustly as possible. Sometimes, sadly, you get fatalities with that.
There are training accidents that occur. There is potential danger with a lot of vehicles and equipment and a lot of people.
The accident happened at Imber, a village in the middle of Salisbury Plain used solely for army exercises. Residents living nearby gave this reaction.
Obviously, it's devastating, especially for the families. It must be absolutely dreadful, and it's, well, it's shocking, really.
I think it's absolutely horrendous, unnecessary. We are not at war, and 2 lives have been lost for what?
Tonight, a full investigation is underway.
An inquest in Bournemouth has heard how a brilliant student suffocated herself with a plastic bag because she feared she would fail in her A-levels.
At 17, Sarah Budinkovitz had everything to live for. At her inquest in Bournemouth, she was described as an outstanding student at St Peter's School in Southbourne, where she was preparing for her A-levels. She was a gifted artist and a championship swimmer. But the court heard that shortly before Easter, she began to suffer from anxiety and depression. She feared failure after sitting her mock A-level in physics, and she failed her driving test. Then the relationship with her boyfriend, Becker Isbender, ended, and she took 2 prescription drug overdoses before finally asphyxiating herself at home. Her father, Raymond, found her dead in bed when he took her a cup of tea in the morning. He was in tears throughout his evidence. He said his first reaction was that she had a white sheet over her face. It was, in fact, a plastic bag. He brushed it to one side, he said. He knew she was dead. She was pale and cold and had no pulse. No note was found in her room. Recording a verdict of suicide, the coroner, Sheriff Payne, said you could never look into the mind of someone like this. She gave the impression that she'd largely sorted out her life. It was a sad end to a young life that had such promise, he said. Michael Vesti for Meridian News.
Police in Southampton are hunting a gang following a brawl at the weekend. Detectives have released CCTV footage following the fight in the city centre, which involved 20 teenagers. Several youths were injured. A man has been arrested in Northamptonshire over the stabbing of a Sussex policeman. PC Gary Thompson was stabbed in his back and hand at Southwick in Hove last month. Workers at the Marconi factory at Poole in Dorset still don't know if their jobs are safe. Unions have been locked in talks to stop the factory closing. A Hampshire man who suffered a heart complaint for more than 4 years is now being forced to travel to Liverpool for treatment. Michael Burke claims Southampton General Hospital took far too long to refer him for treatment and that specialist care should be available closer to his home.
They seem to think it's a joke, but when you're on the receiving end and you're in bed and you can't do anything, you're in pain, it's not a joke. It hurts.
It follows a memo leaked to Meridian yesterday in which doctors warned of a crisis at the hospital. Finally, a Hampshire man has taken gardening to new heights by putting a lawn on the roof of his caravan. Daniel Lobb from Andover has converted the top floor into a botanical haven as part of an exhibition at Ampfield near Winchester. That's all for now. We're back during GMTV.
Meridian weather, sponsored by SeaFrance, Dover-Calais ferries.
Good evening. No sign of the high pressure that many of us would like to see this time of year. It's still low pressure on the charts for the next day or two. The main area of low pressure tomorrow is out to the north and east of Britain. Another one just close to the south of us, though, so it is staying unsettled. Another windy day tomorrow with showers, probably more showers than we saw today. So there will be some sunny spells around tomorrow, not a complete washout by any means at all. There'll be some bright sunny spells through the day, but I think on balance we will see more showers around the region tomorrow than many of us saw today. On the other hand, the winds perhaps just very slightly lighter as we go through the day tomorrow. Still a breezy old day, but maybe not quite as gusty as today was. Temperatures in those sunny spells up to around 20. Good night.
Meridian weather, sponsored by SeaFrance, Dover-Calais ferries.